Welcome back, everybody, to the Nosebleed Spool podcast. I am Chris Witt, and with me, as always, is Mr. Adam Schmidt. Adam, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Just got hooked on the microphone there for a second, but I'm back up and free at last. Thank God Almighty, I'm free at last.
At least you're not hooked on drugs.
That's right. You got that right.
Hooked
Amen
on
to
hooked
that.
on the mic.
Hooked on the mic. Leap day. Happy
Leap
Leap Day.
day.
Happy Leap Day. I've got a buddy that turns 10 years old today.
So does my brother. Yes. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Um,
I would always tell people my age only by how many times this day has been forever. Like if I
yeah.
was turning 40, it'd be my 10th birthday.
10th birthday. Yep.
Absolutely.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. Um, yeah. What else? Do you have any leap day stuff? I mean, you got anything? I mean, it's just another day, I guess, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's just because we don't know how to make time work, I think. So
Yeah.
they're just like, you know what? Every 4 years, boom, here's another day.
Throw in an extra
Have a
one.
good one. Why not? I don't understand any of that, how that works anyway.
Mhm.
Why do they throw an extra day in there? I mean, the doesn't change anything.
No, it doesn't. Um, Yeah, there's nothing. I feel like it should be something special. I mean, obviously it's only every 4 years, but I don't know. There's really nothing different about it except for it's an extra
Zero.
day in February.
Yeah.
February gets to be a little bit closer to a regular month.
Yes, it does. For some reason, February gets the short end of the stick.
Mhm.
I mean, still, even with leap day, it only goes to the 29th.
Yeah,
Like that ain't
still the
right, man.
shortest. Yep.
Yeah, it's still the shortest.
Yep.
Poor February. Poor February. Anyway, Adam, today we've got some good stuff going on. You went to a comedy show by yourself, I believe.
Yeah.
A lot of fun there. We've got maybe some stories about that. You've got a couple things that you're gonna tell me about a story that I was supposed to read but didn't. Uh,
That's because I didn't send it to you.
well, that's all right though. I'll take the blame. I was trying to take the blame. Uh, so let's hear, man. How did Jay Farrow go?
Jay Farrow was really good. If anybody's listening that doesn't know Jay Farrow, check out, just put him into YouTube. Um, in my opinion, the best impressionist in the world, probably.
Wow.
He can do, I forget what it is. It's like 300 impressions or something crazy like that. And he does, he's got maybe 20 of them that he does all the time. Like when he's on a show, everybody wants to see Denzel Washington. Everybody wants to see his Eddie Murphy.
Yep.
But he does a lot of different guys, and he's really, really, really good. So that's what I went for. I wanted to see him do some impressions. I figured his stand up would be all right, and it didn't set the world on fire, but it was good. He's
Sure.
a funny guy, and he did some impressions. So that was great. Um, the guy that opened for him was really good, really funny. AJ Foster is his name. So check him out.
Okay.
AJ
AJ
Foster
Foster.
comedy on all the
All the
social
stuff.
medias and stuff. He was really funny. So yes, he was good. So I went by myself.
Yeah.
Big thing. I decided I saw him like about a week before he was here, which was this past weekend, and I'm like, man, I want to go see him. So I asked a couple people, and uh, some people couldn't go. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Maybe I forget it. I won't go. So then, like, the show was Saturday, and Saturday at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm
Cool.
like, you know what? I think I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
Text a couple more people, couple friends that I never see or whatever, like,
Mhm.
hey, you wanna get together for a show? I was way too late, of course. Nobody can go. So then I'm like, am I gonna go by myself or not? Convince myself to do it.
Nice.
Try it out.
Yeah.
And it's hard enough to go to a comedy club because at least at the Funny
They
Bone,
always sit you somewhere with people.
they sit you with people. Unless you
Mhm.
have a party of four,
Yep.
if you have less than that, you're sitting with other people at a
Yep.
table, which is very strange to me. Um, so I'm like, all right, well, we'll see. Number one, so I've sat in the very front row at comedy shows a bunch of times,
Yeah.
right? I don't really want to because I'm scared to death to be the center of attention in an entire room. Somebody singles me out.
Yep.
I'm like,
Starts their crowd work on
ugh,
you. Yeah.
I'm getting every shade of red.
Yep.
So I go and I get down there and I'm like, they're seating and I'm like, can you put me toward the back? No problem. Yes, great. They take me very back row.
Of course, you said it. So
Very back row. So it's not a very big room. So it wasn't bad at all. And it's like sort of stadium seating, sort of. So the back row was elevated,
yeah,
which was really nice. It ended up being a
you
great,
can see really
yeah,
well. Yeah.
ended up being a great seat. And I wasn't in the line of fire for if he
Hmm.
did some crowd work. So they sit me at a table with these two ladies that were, I think I heard the one lady say she was 43 or something like that. And the other lady was probably somewhere close. Um, so just the two of them are sitting there. So they sit me on the other side of the table. So
Got to make the small talk.
I,
You
I,
have to.
you feel like you have to,
I mean,
especially when you're first sitting down.
you sit down in a room where no one's. I mean, at that point in time, nobody's up on stage yet. You just got. I mean, that's
Yeah, and they're sitting as close as you and I are right now,
absolutely yeah.
and just a couple feet away across the table. So hey, how's it going?
Hmm.
I right away I'm like, oh, sorry to spoil the party or whatever, or,
Yeah.
and no problem, no problem at all. And so it was nice. Like they were nice people. We didn't talk after that.
Good.
The two of them were talking, but just said hey or whatever. So anyway, show comes on, everything's good, and then I don't have anybody sitting next to me the whole show, so I get at least the
You
whole
got a
side of the
little.
table.
Yeah. There you go.
I
Yeah.
appreciated that. So anyway, show goes on, everything's fine. uh they order early in the show, they order a couple drinks. The
Hmm.
one lady orders two drinks for the both of them,
Okay.
different, some like shot or whatever,
Oh.
and
Oh.
some special drink, some mixed drink, whatever.
Shot and a beer, huh? That's the Philly way.
Right.
I remember what was that? Madden? What was his name? Joe Madden. Joe Madden said that. I'm
So,
from
is that
Philly.
right?
I'm from Philly. I'm buying the whole bar, a shot and and a beer. That's a round. That was
Wow.
when he went to Chicago. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay. um
So we got
so,
a beer, we got a shot and we've got a cocktail.
that's right. So they have those, and they're drinking them and stuff. And then the next time the lady comes by, the one lady goes, our server, the one lady goes, can we get waters too, please?
Mhm.
Sure, no problem. Lady comes back four times, forgets the water every
Are
almost
you
the entire
serious?
show,
Oh my God.
kept forgetting to bring the water.
Oh, so you didn't have anything to drink the whole
No,
time?
I had my ginger ale.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. I was
They
thinking,
but they did not get their water, and they're like, this lady's like, oh my God, I am dying for some water. And she was really nice every time the lady came back.
uh-huh.
We
Yeah.
just get some water,
Yeah.
can we get waters or
Yeah.
the server was playful and fun and stuff. And she's like, I didn't bring you your oh my God, what am I doing? I'm so
Uh,
sorry. And finally the lady's like, look, can we get some waters or
yeah.
not?
Yeah. Like, is this some kind of thing where we ordered our two drink minimum and now you guys just, if you order water after that, you're like kicked off the list or what?
Yeah. Because water doesn't cost
I
anything.
don't
So
want to
they're
be banned here.
right, right. So finally brings them the water. Anyway, as the show's going on, I think the ladies are starting to feel the drinks a little bit, okay?
Okay.
Especially because they didn't have their water for a while. So toward the end of the show, they start talking to each other fairly quietly, but making comments and saying stuff to each other, and then laughing really hard and loud
Oh.
during while no one else in the whole place is laughing during a setup or whatever, while he's still doing his set.
Oh no.
So I'm like, are you kidding me? That you don't notice that you're the only
Mhm.
people in here laughing, and they definitely didn't realize how loud they were.
Yeah.
And I'm also very overly sensitive to that stuff at
Sure.
comedy shows,
Sure.
especially.
Yeah.
So, um,
Especially if that might make your table get called out.
yes, if eyes are coming back at this table,
Hmm.
I'm back here for a reason.
Yeah.
Okay, uh, don't spoil that for me. So anyway, it happened a few times, and I'm like, geez, so anyway, ended up okay. Show was good. Um, I go. I'm like, you know what? Okay. I'm glad I did that. Glad I went and saw him. Added another guy to the
Hmm.
list that I've seen live now. So I'm like, all right, got a 35, 40-minute drive home, right?
Hmm.
Nearest UDF.
Of
Where are we at?
course. Yeah. Let's go.
So I go. I find a UDF up there in Liberty, and whoops, and go in. It's exactly 12 o'clock. I went to the late show.
Okay.
I'm about to put ice cream on my body after 12 o'clock,
Not,
which I used
not,
to do all the time. I try not to do that much anymore.
uh-huh.
Anyway, I'm like, I'm doing it. I'm celebrating that I made myself go to this thing by myself
Hmm.
and got through it. I walk in. All right. There are a couple like kids in there for some reason. The kid must have been 16 and the other one must have been 11 or something. It's
Eh,
midnight.
you know,
And
Saturday in Liberty Township.
sure. And so the guy is back there making shakes or malts or whatever for them. Okay. So I didn't think it. So I'm like, okay. So I'm just waiting for somebody to help me. Old gal comes up.
Hmm.
She turns around. She's helping another customer or whatever. She turns around, looks at me. What do you need, son?
Ooh, okay,
Well, mom,
okay.
I would like some ice cream, mom. Um,
Mommy, can I have ice cream,
yeah, yeah,
please?
yeah. Can I have some ice cream? Um, so I'm like, can I please get a shake with chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream and chocolate milk? As I'm saying that, I'm stepping up to the
To the
for
counter.
you know
Hmm.
this. Yes, there's a like a long freezer sort of, and
Yep,
there are several flavors of ice cream in this freezer that you
yep.
can see into. There's the little name tag for above
Hmm.
it. So and I always look first because once in a while I'll go into a different UDF and they
They'll
won't
be out
have
of what?
chocolate chip cookie
Yeah,
dough
like
ice
they'll
cream
be
in their
out of
thing.
that chocolate chip cookie dough or something happened. Yeah, because it's not your regular gallon. It's this big giant box.
Right,
Yeah,
right. So I go and I see the nameplate on there, but I didn't look closely at it. I was like
yeah.
stepping back away because those kids were up there. So as I'm saying that to her, I'm stepping up and I realize no ice cream in there
At all.
at all. No flavors at all. I'm like, oh, so I stop in the middle. I'm like, oh, and I'm like confused. I'm like
Uh-oh.
confused for a second. I'm like stumbling. I'm like, oh, but I realized that guy back there is just made shakes for
Yeah.
these kids. Where'd that where'd that
Where'd
ice
that
cream
come
come from?
from?
um, so I'm like, oh, is there? Uh, yeah, I'm like, she's like, he's like, just tell me what you want and I'll tell you if I can make it.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, mom.
Oh, man.
Um, so I'm like, shake with chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream and chocolate milk. Yeah, I can do that. Cool. No idea how you're going to do it, but thank you.
I can't wait for this.
So she's starting to make it. I'm not, I'm not watching her or anything. I'm like thinking about
Mhm.
that was an
This is crazy.
interesting way to speak to a customer. But, uh, so anyway, so so the kids leave. The guy ends up ringing me up while she's making it. Right.
Okay.
So I go around and pay at the register and go back around. She finishes up, puts it up there on the counter for me, and she keeps it in her hand and walks over to the register where I just walked around from. And she's like, "All right, well, I'm gonna see something here." And I'm like, "Oh, he just rang me up for it." She's like, "No, no, I'm gonna see how much it would actually cost if we rang it up the way I made it." And I'm like, I don't know what you mean by that, but okay, whatever you, okay. So she rings it up some different way. And she did that so that to make sure I knew I got it for a cheaper price than it should have been.
Sure. I
And
know. I
she's
get
like,
it. Yeah,
"Oh
I get
yeah,
it.
yeah, that should have been yeah." So yeah, you saved, whatever. I'm like, okay, I still paid $6.50 for a shake.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
7.13 instead of whatever.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking at her kind of confused, and she's like, "Because ready, because we didn't have chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream. So what I did was use the vanilla ice cream. I used they have this little container of cookie dough bits, which are different than the cookie
Totally
dough
different.
bits in the actual ice cream.
And
So I
chocolate
just put the
chips.
cookie dough bits in there and mixed that up. So no chocolate chips,
Nope.
different cookie dough bits than normal. Also, by the way, used white milk instead of chocolate. I get chocolate every single time. And she didn't even say that part. I can look at the top and see
Sure.
through the lid at the
It's
color.
not. Yeah.
Like, I can't believe this. Lady talked to me the way she did. She told me she could make exactly what I wanted. She didn't make anything close to what I wanted. So I leave and I drink my
You daggone right you did. You weren't
garbage.
gonna tell her no.
I'm like, this is crazy. For a second, I thought about throwing it away and going to another uni. I'm like, all right, don't be crazy. So anyway, I went ahead and drank it, but I'm like, that's nuts. That was crazy
Oh
service.
my gosh. Dude, that's insane.
Um,
I don't understand I don't understand like the concept that people have now. When you go in somewhere, you worked retail, I worked retail, you were a Walgreens employee, I was a Hobby Lobby employee, Thriftway employee. You like it doesn't matter what kind of day you're having, anything like that. You say you're just nice to you. You have to be nice to somebody. That's
mhm.
the whole point. Everywhere you go. I feel like every time I'm at Kroger's, I'll look at the cashier or whoever's there and I'll be like, hey, how we doing today? It's almost over. Well, I gotta be done soon. Have we had this conversation before? It's starting to feel like we've had this conversation before.
Oh no, I don't think so.
No.
I don't
And
remember it at least.
and and I always like, what? No, no. Uh, if I say, how are you? You say, I'm doing great. How are you? And I say, I'm doing good. And then we go on with our day.
Mhm.
I don't really care how you're doing.
Yeah.
You don't care how I'm doing. I don't care what you are in the service industry. If you're telling me how terrible this place is, like how are you still working here? I hate that more than anything. I can't stand that. That is my least favorite thing. Or when people are bickering back and forth,
Yes.
that
Employee, two employees, you mean?
oh my God.
Yeah.
Like openly, like, or talking, or they're talking smack about somebody else that's not there and they're just out
Yeah.
and bad mouthing somebody.
Cussing
And it's like,
and yeah,
what is going on right now?
seen that plenty. Yeah.
So speaking of service, so today I was at lunch and I was at lunch with this guy. We were at Hooters and the girl comes up to give us our check and she's got another check in her hand. She's like, you believe this? I said, what? She said, I've got this guy left his Cash App credit card here. And she's just, you know how the Hooters girls are. They just stand sit right at your table and they're just going to talk to you for a while. She's like, they left their Cash App card. A $30, $40 bill and tipped me $1.17. And the other person had a bill and didn't tip anything at all. She pulls her phone out and starts she gets on the Cash App. I guess on a Cash App credit card, it's got like a username on it. It said like at something something on the card. Gets on there, requests $20 from them and says, "Hey, no tipper, I got your card," or something.
Whoa.
Requests like like $20 like 5 times while she's sitting there. She's like, I hope I don't get fired for this. I'm like, yeah, you're gonna get fired for this. That or this dude's never gonna come back here. He's not coming back to come get that card. First off, if he left you a dollar 10 and left his card, it's probably all he's got.
Mm.
And it's Cash App. I feel like Cash App is for people that got no money.
I didn't even know you could have a card from
Yeah.
Cash App or whatever. I
I
don't know
don't
how that
understand the
works.
Cash App.
I
People
think it's
just like,
exactly the same as Venmo. I
is it the
assume.
same as Venmo?
I think.
Oh, so that's how you request money and all that stuff like that.
I think so. I've only used it a couple times, but
So you have the Cash App.
mhm.
Oh, I don't have the Cash App.
Yeah.
Well, they had a Cash App card. And she was just sitting there requesting money and putting little comments every single time
Wow.
and then taking screenshots and putting it on the Snapchat.
The tip stuff is really interesting. People are talking about that a lot now
Oh,
because
it's
it's
big, yeah. So and then she kept talking to us, and she's like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I probably shouldn't be like this. She's like, I'm 19 years old. For 16 years of my life, I never tipped anybody anything. Like, I mean, well, you're also 12, 13, 14 years old,
you don't have any
probably, where
money. Yeah.
you don't, yeah. Nobody, you go to Skyline, nobody's expecting you to leave some big tip. And this is what gets me. This is my favorite part. My grandma never left a tip less than $20, no matter what the bill was. She just left $20 everywhere she went. I'm like, if you think that you're going to get me to leave you $20 after we have this little $30 meal that we just had, you can forget that. So, anyway, yeah, I never tipped at all. So I can't be too mad at him. And I'm like, I'm so lost right now. Will you please just go get the to-go box for this dude over here and let us leave? It was hilarious. Anyway, that was my service. That was a little service thing that happened to me today.
Interesting.
Sat there listening she sat there for 10 minutes requesting money, putting little smart ass comments in the comment.
I feel like she could and probably should get in pretty big trouble for
Yeah.
that, but
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, she's a 19-year-old ding dong working at Hooters, so you
Hmm.
can, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, the tip stuff is really interesting. People talk about, I love to hear people's thoughts about how to tip, how they tip,
Yeah.
and then people on both sides, people in the service industry and
Yeah.
people that, aren't in, frequent
Sure.
to the
What's
service
your
industry.
tip strategy?
I'm doing like I'm rounding sort of. I'm doing like about 30 or so in my head, about 30%
All
in my
right.
head. And somewhere around there, if
Back in the
it's
day, it was 20%. You tip people 20%. That's always what it was. Now it's like people are like the tipping is ridiculous. First off, you got to tip everybody.
you gotta tip everybody. And then everything has a screen
Hmm.
and and you go to use your card, it says how much you want to leave the tip for. And some of them are like DoorDash all the time.
Yep.
You go to the end of on DoorDash right before you pay.
It's as much as my bill sometimes. And I'm
It'll be
like,
yeah,
and then sometimes like we'll get dinner on DoorDash for the whole family or whatever, and it's like $50, and they're like, and the suggested tip is $4. And
yeah,
I'm like, I don't understand this
yeah.
app. This doesn't make sense.
And then it'll be $13 for your bill and it'll say
It's
450 or something
yeah,
like
I
that.
don't
Like,
wait a second.
what?
Hold on. This doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah. So, and then I've seen a bunch of videos and stuff online of people I saw two videos where pizza delivery guy or maybe a DoorDash person or something. Um, yeah, it was a pizza delivery guy. Lady came to the door, gave her the thing. She paid him, and he goes something like $10. That's not much for a house like this or something like that.
Oh yeah, I saw
And
it.
she's like, we got one $20 pizza. I gave you $10 for a tip. And he's like, bad. He's like, look at your house. He's like, you're giving me $10. That's all you're giving me is $10. You live in a house like this. And she's like, I gave you 50%, dude.
That's I don't understand that. Once again, here we are with these people just feel entitled to get whatever. It's called a tip.
Hmm.
First off, number one, it's a tip. You don't have to give somebody a tip. It's optional. It's completely optional. So it's like a bonus, right? This is what I hate about bonuses at work. You get when I be years ago, we would get bonuses and they took one of our bonuses away. All right, this is 20 years ago. The downturns hitting, right? We would get two bonuses a year, one in June, one around Christmas or whatever.
Hmm.
And they took the June one away. We all know we're losing money. They're laying people off, and these people are people out here going, "Geez, that's ridiculous. That's my money. That's my." You know what that's called? It says it on your check,
It's
bro.
a
It says
bonus.
bonus.
Exactly.
It literally says the word bonus.
Yeah.
That's not money that is yours or should be yours. It's that the people that run the company decided, hey, you know what? We're gonna help people out because we've done really well.
Yeah.
That's what that is. They're laying people off, my man. What did you think was going to happen?
How could you still expect that? Yeah.
I cannot stand that. That's one of my, like, if I get a bonus, okay, you give me a bonus of $10, and I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. Like, no one had to give me this $10. I
You're not
will take the $10. It's even more. I'm even like, that's the nicest thing. Thank you so much. That is incredible that you would even think about doing something like
you're
that.
not entitled to the bonus.
No,
If you if,
just like a tip.
yeah, if you're applying for a job and they're like, we have bonuses every year, it's
Mhm.
20% every year or something like that, then yeah, you might come to expect it because
Because they
they
put it
said
out there.
that. Yeah. But
Yeah.
also, even still,
Mhm.
if the company is losing money and they're
That's
laying
not
people
gonna
off,
happen,
you
man.
gotta
They're gonna
expect like
nothing.
I might
Nothing's
not get the bonus.
but the tips that like I get waitresses, they don't make that much. The hourly is I still don't understand why they make like $3.10 an hour.
Yeah.
So it's like almost all based off tips. So yeah, I go 20% and then I like round up to a dollar. I don't leave somebody $4.18.
Right.
I don't do that.
Yeah.
So if the bill's
Round up.
$36, I'll go, I'll $7 will be 35. So I'll go to 8.
Yep.
I just go up to the next dollar. So it's more than 20%. I don't know what that is, but it's definitely more. So that's how I usually you leave a tip. At the bar, I never know what to do. We got a cousin who says he doesn't care if he goes up there and buys a round of 7, 8, 9 drinks. He leaves $1. He buys one drink, leaves $1. He leaves $1 every time he goes up to the bar.
Hmm.
And I was like, that doesn't. I don't know. I feel like like if I just bought 15 drinks, I feel like I need to leave more than $1, right?
Sure.
But
Yeah.
I don't know, man. The tip thing is tough, dude. I don't
I saw a
so
video,
confused about it.
yeah, a couple of days ago where an older guy was delivering pizza, and the lady also. Why are people like when people have their phones out recording something already?
Yeah.
It's like, are you expecting something to
Yeah,
happen?
most of the time it
So I
is.
think that's
Yeah.
probably. But this lady was getting a pizza delivered to her, and she didn't tip at all. The pizza delivery guy,
Hmm.
and he's like takes the pizza out.
Hmm.
She gives him exact money or whatever,
Yeah.
and he's like, oh, uh, you didn't tip me, and she's like, yeah, I pay a delivery fee.
Yeah.
That's the tip. Like
Yeah.
there's a delivery fee, so I pay that.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I have to tip on top of that too.
Right.
And he's like, no. He's like, no. No, you have to tip. You have to tip still. He took the pizza back and left with the pizza. He didn't give her her food because she didn't tip.
I saw the same kind of video with a guy delivering groceries.
Is that right?
Guy delivering groceries, and he's like, "No, you don't understand. You have to tip me." And she was saying the same thing about a delivery fee, and I pay you to shop and get the groceries, and there's a fee added onto it. Why? Well, I don't. That's the tip, right? And he's like, and he starts taking the groceries and putting them back in his car. He goes, "I'm taking these back." I said, "I'm taking them all back." She's like, It was the craziest thing I ever seen in my life. And then it's always a big fight, right? It's a big,
Yeah.
yeah, argument, and that's all ridiculous. That's all silly. Uh,
Yeah.
some people I think are just looking, like you said, are just looking for it. But no, I don't know, man. The tip stuff, like my baseball organization runs the beer booths at the top of the Xavier games. And now it's like it's cashless, so there's no cash.
Mhm.
You can still leave a cash tip, right? There's a little jar there says tips for Jaeger baseball, blah blah blah. Little jar if you want to put a tip in there. Well, the little iPad that they give you to put your money in, you don't, you put your chip in, they turn it around, and you have to decide. You have to sitting in front of someone hit no tip,
Mhm.
10%, 15%, 20% other, and then hit pay. And it's like, everybody's hitting 10. Every single one of them dudes are hit. Everybody's doing that. That's in like, there's a lot of pressure now with that. Or like go to like you go, I went to uh Panera Bread, and I order my food. The person back there, the cook is making the food. I have to sit there and wait to pick it up and take. But as I pay, there's a thing on there for a tip. And I'm like, tip? Why am I tipping this person? Nobody's serving me. Nobody, like the cooks I know aren't making $4 an hour. That's that's a specific thing for waitresses. You can't do that for a cook.
Mhm.
Well, number one, are they splitting all this tip? How does this work? I don't understand. Number two, I select no on that almost every time. Subway's the same way. They're making your sandwich. Nobody, like, I take my sandwich and I eat and I throw my own stuff away and I get my own refill. I do all that. What? Every single time pops up. Want to leave a tip? What? No, I'm not
Are
leaving
you
a tip.
doing no on those?
I like Penn Station, Jersey Mike's, Subway. I hit no.
Okay.
I do. Is that bad? Do you leave a tip at those places?
I overtip everywhere I go.
So I
No
don't.
matter what.
I shouldn't say I do it every time, because there are times where I'm like, oh, like if feel like if someone's like looking and watching real hard, I'm hitting it. But if you turn away when I swipe that card, I'm hitting the zero on that, because I no one's ever tipped at Subway ever before COVID.
Yeah.
Until COVID hit, there was never a tip
Before
left at Subway.
before it all became cashless and they put
Yes,
the option up there on the
there's
screen.
no one
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Pretty
It,
soon you're gonna have to leave a tip at Kroger's for the lady checking you out.
yeah. Yep. Uh, so our server at the Funny Bone
Mhm.
on Saturday night, I feel like every time somebody like presents you a thing, then you have to choose a tip.
Yeah.
They don't look because just out of whatever courtesy or whatever, so you don't feel the pressure.
Oh,
I feel like almost everywhere I go, when that's the case, they
hand
here
it
you
to you or
go, and they
whatever.
don't
Oh
look.
yeah.
This lady hands it to me and is staring at me
Yeah.
like to
What are you
see
gonna
what
do?
kind of tip I'm
What is she
gonna
gonna
give.
leave me? I want to
And
know what I'm getting.
and I'm
I
I'm
want to
looking
know
at
how,
the
the ginger. How much was the ginger ale?
it was well, I got the pretzels too, which will come into play later as well.
Okay.
Um, so I forget what my bill was, and as a matter of fact, it's dark. I have bad eyesight now,
Yep.
and so I was like looking at my bill like this, and I'm like, and
You
and
bring the
so
cheaters with you?
no, so she puts my card in, and then like turns it around to me to do the tip, and right away I'm like, oh shoot, what was it just now? I forgot
Oh, that's
immediately
the
what my thing was,
worst.
so I'm like, oh, what was that bill? So so I'm trying to do like quick math as she's
Hmm.
staring at me, and I'm like, so I just put like $6 in or something like
Yeah.
that. I think the total was like 17 something. I
Yeah.
don't know.
So a plenty fine tip.
Yeah.
Now, when somebody's really good, if I get a good waitress, you're getting a great tip
Oh
from
yeah.
me. Really good. Like I'm
Yeah.
50, I'll go 50% depending on the bill.
Yep.
Like it'll be good. But you got to show me that you're into it, right? Don't just expect whatever it is. Like the other one, Skyline's another one that happens to me at Skyline all the time. I don't look at my bill at Skyline. It's the same all the time. I got 3 kids and me and my wife. It's like probably $90. I don't know.
Yeah.
Skyline's ridiculous now.
Yep.
But I go up, I just give them that in my card, and they're like, "Oh, would you like to leave a tip on the card?" I'm like, "Yeah." How much would you like to leave? Um, how much was that again?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I gotta ask all the time. How much was that again? Oh, it was 64.97. Jesus Lord, $64 for us to eat. All right, well, I guess give her $13.
I do still like to, if I can, and I don't always have cash with me, but
Yeah.
I like to leave a cash tip if I can.
You know what I've noticed? I've been to quite a few places and people cash their tips out. A lot of places they'll cash their tips out. So like they'll get a little watch a waitress go up and plug in her number or whatever. I've seen it a bunch of times. Print something out, take it to the bar, and the bartender gives her $50 and then she leaves. Like, there's all your
Oh, when you
tips. Like,
pay with your
cash your
card.
tips. Yeah, so that she cashes out her. But I thought that stuff's gonna get reported, right? So you gotta anything that comes on a card is gonna get reported to the IRS. You're gonna get taxed on that.
Yeah,
Careful taking
I
that money.
guess I guess so, yeah. Do you know about the Jeff Ruby's Steakhouse is getting sued by the government or something like that? Or
Huh?
yeah, yeah. For that. For tip pooling. So like when
Mm-hmm.
servers get tips, it doesn't go to them, it all goes into this thing so that like cooks and everybody
Yeah,
else that
and you
work
got the
there
4 people that
have
like
to share
scrape the
it.
breadcrumbs off of your. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So they're apparently that's against the law. So they're in big trouble for that.
What? I thought everybody did that. Split tips.
But it's like because servers or whatever are only making $4 an hour or whatever, but they have to share that with the cooks making $18 an hour or something. So I guess that's why it's that
Wow.
they are that, those whatever the minimum is, whatever the minimum for servers and
Yeah,
people like that are, it's that for a reason because they get tips. So
exactly.
if they're not getting their tips, if they're getting less by the end of the night because they got to share it with everybody,
Yeah.
then I guess that's against the
Wow.
rules.
Huh. That's
So
crazy.
anyway, but last thing on that, another service thing. When was the last time you had Trotta's pizza?
A couple months ago.
Oh, okay.
I go through the drive-through and get a slice or two every. So your ice cream thing
Hmm.
at UDF. I'm a Pete like that's me with pizza. If you're telling me there's pizza by the slice somewhere, and I'm
Oh,
driving by, I'm whipping through there real quick and grabbing a slice of pizza, and I'm gonna keep on driving, eat my slice of pizza.
that's one of the biggest things I wish here where we live in
More
Cincinnati.
places like that.
We need pizza by the slice. That's the
Yep.
only place I know of that has pizza by the slice.
Yeah, on the west side, it is
Yeah.
the only place. It's the only place. There's some on the east side. There's a couple in Hyde Park. There's some over in there are some in Cincinnati, but I'm pretty sure Trotta's is the only one on the west side that I know of.
So I don't think I've ever been through that drive-through.
Oh,
I
really?
drive past it a zillion times
Yeah,
a year.
yeah.
I don't for whatever reason I never go in there. So I'm like, all right, you know what? I need to get some dinner. I'm doing that. So I go go to Trotta's, pull in the thing. I'm like, look, I realize this is just a drive-through and somewhere they have pizza as well.
Yeah.
Right. So I pull in there. There's one car in there. There's a lady helping that person. I'm like, okay, a couple seconds later, this young fella comes out. He's walking toward my car. He sees somebody behind me that pulled in, and he's like waving to him. He's excited to see them. He comes to my car, squats down so that his face is
Uh-huh.
in the thing. Not one word. Just stares at me.
Just look at you. Now, what can I do for you? What you need?
Not hello, anything. I'm like, can I just have two slices of pepperoni? Not a word.
Turns around.
No, he goes. I said, can I get two slices of pepperoni? He goes, $5. Walks away. He comes back with my pizza
They stack them on top of each other too.
with, yeah, yes,
Somebody,
stacked on top of
somebody
each other.
leaves, they put like this wax paper over top of it
Yes.
and stack it on top. I'm like, this is the dumbest thing. Put them both on the same plate. Just put them on the same plate.
Yeah. My first time in there. Didn't know that. So anyway, so he comes out with like two big cans of something. And he's walking out toward my car and he's looking at the people behind me and holding this must be like a regular that comes
Regular.
there.
Yeah.
And he just hands me my pizza and just walks back to their car. Doesn't say a word. I'm like, all righty, have a good one as well.
I don't understand. So that's dude. It's people are different. It's not the same, man. It's not the same. Like even you, right? Like you're not a big outgoing, looking to have conversations with any strangers. But if you work in the service side, like if you're at Walgreens or wherever you used to work, like when somebody walks in, you say, "Hey, welcome to Walgreens," or you say, "Hey, is there anything I can help you with?" When you walk by, or just
Yeah,
politeness.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Greet people and talk to them like they're human beings. Yeah.
Yes.
Um, okay. That was yeah, I feel like we could go. There are more stories like popping into my
Yes.
mind, but
It's
anyway,
constant. Constant.
very funny. Um, okay. Let me tell you something, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
We have dearly departed, unfortunately, this month.
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
Um, if you listen to this podcast regularly, you know that we are big 80s, 90s wrestling fans.
Yep.
And 2000s. Chris will still watch it with his son,
Absolutely. Sometimes by myself.
sometimes by himself,
Most of the time by myself.
most of the time
Not gonna
by
lie
himself.
to you.
He
Not gonna lie.
he's doing he's by himself in these hotel rooms once a week when he travels, and he's doing practicing wrestling moves on the air,
Yeah.
like
Well,
on nobody.
I'll take a pillow. I use a pillow usually.
Pillow,
Yeah. I gotta
like
be
the
able to
old
grab
wrestling
something.
buddies.
I gotta grab something.
That's right. So he's doing he's doing moves and slamming pillows on his bed and
Uh,
stuff, and giving torture racks and sharpshooters and whatever. Virgil,
I didn't think that's where you were going. I thought you were going somewhere different.
Mm.
Virgil died.
Virgil passed.
We've talked before that he's got a like he's one of the ones that have like a pretty good little Twitter account, right? That's got
Yeah,
a little funny little saying.
very funny and sad also
Yeah,
because he's a little out there. He's kind of a little
sure. It's just like the Iron Sheik's got a Twitter account that does some funny stuff, but he's also a
amazing.
crazy psycho weirdo too. So
Yeah. Yeah, he did. I don't know. Never, I'm not going to get into all the stuff that Virgil talked about because it was sort of like double entendre stuff, and he was very like into uh ladies, we'll say.
sure,
So anyway, uh, but long time
mostly no,
manager of
yeah, Ted
Ted
DiBiase,
DiBiase.
yeah, mostly known for being with the $1 Million Man.
Yeah, but then he had a pretty long career himself as a wrestler after
Yeah,
that.
I thought you were gonna say is it Ole Anderson, one of the original Four Horsemen?
Oh,
Arn
right.
Anderson, Ole Anderson, Ric Flair, and
The Ben, not Chris Benoit.
no, original Four
Yeah,
Horsemen.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
talking like
yeah,
territory days.
yeah.
There's like if you go back and look at Four, there've been like 15 renditions of the
I
Four
know,
Horsemen.
and
Ric Flair's the only one that's like the one that's always in it.
I just watched the Ric Flair documentary like 4 or 5 days ago too, and I
Yeah,
saw all of them there. Yes, I
yeah.
know who you're talking about. Anyway,
So Ole Anderson, I'm not sure if he was related to Arn Anderson or not. I assume he was.
yeah,
But
yeah, he looked exactly like
they
him,
look
I
at
think.
yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, he passed away this week as well.
that's right.
Yeah, 80 years old, 80 something. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Man, WWF, dearly departed. A couple of them.
that's right.
Man,
Yeah. It's too
sad
bad.
day.
because
Sad day, my man. Sad
we're
day.
getting old. That's what that means.
But there ain't no doubt. I feel it all the time. I remember my dad used to talk about that stuff all the time. Be like, man, people are starting to die, man. I'm like the people that, I watched and grew up and then now it's people that are his age and it's like, man,
Mm-hmm.
now I'm starting to feel like, man, a lot of these dudes are kicking the bucket, man.
Yeah.
Ain't no good.
Yep.
It's no good.
Very interesting. So speaking of,
Somehow Ric Flair's still alive.
I mean, that guy, yeah, he's still partying his brains off.
He's got his own uh seltzer drink called the Woo or energy drink called Woo.
He, God, he looks rough.
Sure. He's had a rough life. He's
Yeah.
had a rough life, man.
Oh man. Um,
Still styling and profile. He looks like his mouth doesn't work half the time.
mhm.
That's what I hate about him. I know he's had all kinds of stuff, and it's like his mouth doesn't work and he can't talk all the way. And it's like, and it's like, dude, stop, take a deep breath, watch your daughter be a great wrestler and
Yeah.
enjoy it. But that's my man's got a lifestyle and he's living it, man. He's
Yes, he
living it.
is. He sure is. Yeah, he's got a little bit of the old JR. He's got a
Yeah.
little bit of Jim
I don't
Ross
know
in
if
him.
I don't know if
But
something happened. A what happened is a stroke or something. What hit
Jim Ross,
Jr.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, he speaks really, really well. It's just one side of his mouth doesn't
doesn't
move.
move.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of people who passed, there was a we don't talk boxing very often on here,
No,
but I saw a story the other day that fascinated me. And so I wanted to, this is the story that I was supposed to send you, and I never did because I'm forgetful. But let me break it down real quick for you. Sugar Ray Robinson,
absolutely. Yep, used to love him.
champion in the 40s. So Sugar Ray
Oh,
Robinson,
I'm
not Sugar Ray
thinking
Leonard.
Sugar Ray Leonard. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
Sugar Ray Robinson was around in the
Yep,
40s. He
yep.
was, I think, lightweight and welterweight champ for a while. He was first time he won a belt, he went to defend his title for the first time against a guy named Jimmy Doyle,
Okay.
who was apparently a very good boxer at the time. Sugar Ray Robinson woke up from a dream. There are a couple different versions of this story, but it was either the day of the fight or like 2 or 3 days before the fight.
Okay.
Woke up out of a sleep in the middle of the night because he had a nightmare that he killed Jimmy Doyle in the ring
Oh, Jesus Lord.
with specifically a left hook,
And
which was
did he
apparently
kill a guy? Did he kill this dude?
he Sugar Ray Robinson was so scared by that dream, he called the fight off. He said, "I can't fight.
That's all I
I'm
can think
I'm
about.
afraid. Yes, I'm afraid to fight this guy. I think I'm going to kill him." And so they brought in a Catholic priest to talk to Sugar Ray Robinson, and he convinced him everything's okay. It was just a dream. You're going to be fine. Talked him back into the fight. Sugar Ray Robinson in like the eighth or ninth round or something like that hit Jimmy Doyle with a left hook, knocked him out, took him off on a stretcher, took him to the hospital. Jimmy Doyle died the next day.
Jesus Lord, you got to be kidding me.
No, I verified this with like 3 or 4 different publications to make sure
Did he
wherever
ever
I saw
fight
this.
again after that? Was that his last fight
No, he
ever?
died. So he
No, no,
couldn't.
no, no, no. I'm not talking about Doyle.
I'm kidding.
He
Yeah,
was fighting them angels trying to get
yeah,
in.
yeah. No, he yeah, he was fighting for his life in the hospital. Yes.
Quite a large fight, quite a big fight, much bigger than the one against Sugar.
Sugar Ray Robinson, yeah, I think he went on to fight a bunch more times because he was a champ for a long time. Um, so apparently he found out that now 2 different versions of the story I saw. One was that Jimmy Doyle was going to, with the money that he got from that fight, was going to buy his mother a house.
Okay.
And he found that out, and then after Jimmy Doyle died, bought Jimmy Doyle's mom a house, which is very nice.
Wow.
Another version said he set up like a trust fund or whatever and put
For
50
family.
bucks, like 50 bucks a month in that like just went to his parents and put like 50 bucks a month in this account
Mhm.
for like 10 years. So I mean that was
Doesn't sound like a lot, but in the 40s,
oh, in the
that's a ton
40s,
of money.
$6,000 over 10 years. I
Yeah.
guess that's they'd buy a house with that probably. Um So anyway, just that's the whole story, but very so interesting, so
That's
crazy that
crazy.
he had a premonition, a real like premonition, and he
You know,
uh,
they said, yeah, this is part of the alien stuff, dude. This is part of that stuff. Listen, they talk about it like guys like who's the Tesla? Uh what was his first name?
the guy that created Tesla,
No, not Elon Musk. Like
Elon
the
Musk.
actual uh Tesla. His name was Tesla,
Oh,
the guy who
oh,
invented all kinds of stuff.
oh, John Tesla.
Yeah, it might be.
I think it's John Tesla.
Is his name. Anyway,
Terry Tesla.
uh,
Let's do alliteration.
let's do it.
Tom Tesla.
Tom Tesla, Tony Tesla. Uh, anyway, this dude, like when he came up with all his inventions on how it was all in his sleep, he would have these crazy dreams and then wake up and be like, "Oh my god!" And then he would invent stuff that people use to this day. It's like instruments that like are insanely out there for anyone to have ever thought of back in the 20s or whenever he was around, something like that. Like I keep wanting to say Elon Tesla. It's not his damn name. That's Elon Musk
Call him
who's
that.
got Tesla. God, this is gonna kill me. Anyway, all of his stuff came in his dreams, and they talk about like that's how these ancient alien theorists they believe that they they're some time travel in there. They come in, get into your brain, give you ideas, give these people things. A lot of the biggest inventors and in their sleep would come up with their inventions and dreams and get up and be able to do them. And I'm telling you, man, maybe Sugar Ray, somebody was trying to tell Sugar Ray, like, look, homie, I'm out here on Xenon Planet 47 and we're big boxing fans. I want you to kill this dude, man. It's gonna kill you. It's gonna mess you up. I'm gonna try to help you out.
Shout out Cody Brack. Um,
No doubt. No doubt. Speaking of Cody, he's texting me earlier today.
oh
He
man,
still sends me an update like weekly on on some kind of alien this week in aliens or something like that.
nice,
Yeah,
nice. Oh man. Okay, that's the Sugar Ray Robinson, Jimmy Doyle story.
that's insane.
Oh,
Have you ever had a dream that came true?
mm. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. This podcast.
it did. You're right. It was a dream. I woke up in the middle of the night and I was like, I'll never forget that. I was like, what's a podcast?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like I should be going into space or
It
something
was
on one of these
1991. I
things.
remember you telling me about that
Yeah,
dream.
yeah. And next thing you know, 25 years later, here we are.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
30,
30 years
30
later.
years, 30,
Jeez,
almost
Pete.
35 years later.
Man, hearing people talk about like the night, I just saw a thing on the TikTok or one of those deals where like um what was the shit? What was the movie where Matthew McConaughey says uh something about loving high school girls? I keep getting older and they
Oh,
forget
yeah,
my
yeah, yeah. I never
age.
saw it, but I know what you're
Uh
talking about. Yeah, I can't think of it
it's
either.
no good if I can't remember. But anyway, it was like it came out in like 93 and it was based off of these kids going to high school in 1975.
Hmm.
So it was like 22-year difference or something like that, or 18-year
18 year
difference.
difference. Yeah.
And it was like such a, it's like, oh my God, dude, I remember watching like, man, we wear some weird stuff back in the 70s. And that would be like right now. That's like 2005, 2007. Like I wasn't even in high school anymore. Like I was a grown man at that point in time.
Yeah.
Like what is going on? How did I get that old?
Isn't
Is
that
that how
crazy?
kids, when they see pictures of me in high school, is that what they think? Like, oh my God,
Yeah.
who wears Junko? Junko? What's
Yeah.
Junko? What is that? Why are your jeans so huge?
Why does your hat say no fear?
Why? Why? Why does it say button your fly? I don't understand what your shirt is saying.
Oh my God. Um, yes. Yeah. It's
I
even,
just keep feeling older and older every day, dude. I hear something about the 90s and it's like that's 30 years ago.
yeah. And I'm like, that was the other day.
Yeah, feels like yesterday.
Sort of it feels like the other day, and sort of it feels like a really long time
I
ago.
don't know. I feel like I was just playing pickle where you had to run down into your driveway and back up the hill into Johnny and what's her name's yard to
That
play
was
pickle.
that was Elsie's house.
Elsie's house.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, Elsie Clark. Shout out Elsie Clark.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Dearly departed. Um, Yeah. What was your favorite pretzel when you were a kid?
I'm going to tell you, if I had to, you know what? I don't want to go with my favorite. I'd like to give you my Mount Rushmore
I
of
wish I
pretzels.
wish you would.
And it's not just from being a kid. I'm a big pretzel guy. Like I love my pretzels.
Okay.
Big pretzel guy.
All right.
Uh, for probably the longest time, number one, numero uno was roll gold cheese.
Mhm.
Roll gold cheese pretzels.
I like how you say that.
I'll have the roll gold cheese.
Yeah.
I used to say it all the time. That was the big joke. I'm getting a bag of roll gold cheese.
Mhm.
Delicious.
Oh,
Tear my tongue up because I'd suck on them so hard to get all the cheese off. And oh, so good. Now, so that's on there. Now they're dots. Have you ever seen these dots?
oh yeah.
Oh my God. I don't know what this woman, her name's Dot. I don't know how she invented this seasoning or what but it's like a buttery pretzel, like a stick. And I love those buttery pretzels, right? I like the butter pretzels like Snyder's makes and stuff. Oh my God. Whatever she did to those, insane. Like top of the list, there's no better pretzel than Dot's pretzels. That there none. There, I don't know that it'll ever happen. Be a better. I don't know.
Wow.
So that's number two. The hard part for me is I don't have any soft pretzels in mine. I love soft pretzels, but my Mount Rushmore has no soft pretzel. I mean, an Annie Ann pretzel, let's go, right? Unless it's, I mean, I'll tell you what, last couple I've had, dried out, hard as a rock.
Really?
Yeah, like they've been sitting around for a while. Yeah, you gotta be careful with the Annie Ann. Make sure you're getting some fresh ones.
Huh.
Those are the best ones. But the
I've
Annie Ann,
never had bad Annie Ann's.
those are delicious, but I'm not putting it on there.
Yeah.
I'm tapping that. I'm going with my old school pretzels. I'm going with my pretzels. So I'm going to go to Snyder's next because this was at one point I've had a lot of favorite pretzels, but when I see these, and you don't see them very often anymore, buttermilk ranch nugget, the little nuggets are like broken up. They make them in
Yeah.
like honey mustard, which is good. They make them in hot wings and jalapeno. They make them in a lot of different flavors. The hardest one to find is the buttermilk ranch,
Hmm.
but by far the most delicious. Absolute best. Again, I suck on these things to get all the salt and flavor off, and it tears my mouth up just like sunflower seeds. Worse than sunflower seeds. Uh, so definitely by far they have to be up there. Buttermilk Ranch, Snyder's, I don't know what they call them, nuggets maybe, I
Or
don't know, but
pieces or something like that.
pieces. That's what they
Yeah.
are. The pieces. Good call. Yes. Unbelievable. And I gotta tell you, dude, last one on my list is I like them. They're up there, but they're probably there because of the amount of salt that you get in the bottom of the bag. But the teardrop
Oh.
Grippos,
Hmm.
there's so much salt on those.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Right now, my mouth is legit watering. I'm having trouble. I'm swallowing saliva constantly because I mean, I can feel it building on the sides with your little mammary glands. I almost
No,
said
it's not
mammary gland. That was called a mammary glands.
that.
Your what are they called? Back in, your taste buds. Oh, along the
Yeah.
sides, your real good ones back here, not on your tongue, but like,
Right.
oh, I'm salivating like
You
crazy right
feel
now.
it like back
Mm,
here and
yes.
you're,
Oh, salivating. But I like to, after I'm done with a bag of those, I will pop them just like you pop a bag of Doritos or whatever, you pop your corners and you
Mhm.
tilt it up and get all the good stuff at the end. Do you do that with any of your chips?
Uh, to get the chips, if there's like a layer of salt or
I do it.
powder at
I
the
do it
bottom
with
of it,
sunflower
I
seeds.
don't
I
do that.
do it with everything. It's the best part because anything salty, so much salt down the bottom of that thing,
Mhm.
dude. And the amount of salt in the bottom of one of those bags of teardrop Grippos could kill somebody.
Yeah.
I feel like somebody may overdo. I won't. My body's used to it. But there are people that could overdo it. Like that's not for beginners, bro, right? Like don't pop your corners and go dumping in those. You may not make it to tomorrow. You know what I mean? I hope you got an EpiPen
Yeah.
or what is it, fentanyl shot or something. Whatever they give you. What is that thing called?
Oh yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah,
like
OD on fentanyl, they give you
yeah.
a Mataran shot or something. I
You
don't
can
know.
just get those at the pharmacy now, you know.
Yeah, they give them to you.
You can
There's a
just
thing right at Walgreens. It's right there. It just says you want, take one. Like,
yeah.
I'll take one. Um,
That's crazy.
anyway, so that's my four. This is oh God, I love pretzels. Uh,
Do you love pretzels or do you love salt?
I, I don't know because when soft pretzels, my son takes he takes a bunch of the salt off of no, sorry, not him. My daughter, he'll eat a little bit of salt. My daughter she doesn't want any salt on a soft pretzel at all. So I refuse to not ask them to put salt on it. She just pulls it all off and it's on that little paper plate at the soccer game or whatever, and I got take the finger, dab it on the tongue, get it wet, dab down, grab you about 37 pieces of salt, put it back in your mouth, and I just go back and forth. I eat every piece of salt on the
Why don't
bottom
you
of that
just
plate.
fold the plate and
Well, she's still eating.
dump her in?
I'm
Oh, I
eating while
see.
she's eating,
I
right?
see.
I don't get pretzel, I get salt, she gets pretzel.
Oh man.
I know it's bad. I know how bad this is. I get it. As I tell people about my salt addiction, I'm getting more and more to realize it's an addiction. Seriously, that gunpowder seasoning before you got here, I had 3 or 4 dabs in the middle of my hand. Just took a salt seasoning from a seasoning shaker, poured it in my hand, and lick it off. I do it 5 to 10 times a day.
It's sugar for me. I'm with you. I'm totally with you there.
I'm shaking right now. I feel like I need to have some
Need
salt.
some salt. Oh man.
So that's my four. The buttermilk ranch pieces, the teardrop grippos, dots, roll gold cheese.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, ours are gonna be different then. We're gonna have four different ones.
Has this ever happened? Have we ever
Maybe
had
not.
four different?
Probably, but maybe. I mean,
Four?
very rare.
Usually we've got one where we're both like, well, obviously, right? That's gonna be number one. Four, could we have four different?
I think so.
This
As
is
a matter of fact, I
awesome.
know we
You
have.
know, okay then. As a matter
Um,
of fact.
See, here's the thing, is I forgot about Annie Ann's until you said that. So now I'm trying to contemplate what needs to be knocked off my list.
Oh, you're bunting Annie Ann's in there.
I
So you're
think
sliding Annie Ann's in there. Now, is it the dip? Because
I
the
don't.
butter that they put on there, so I mean that's what
Mhm.
kills it. And as long as it's soft and fresh,
Yeah.
I think it's delicious. Um, but do you get the cheese dipper with it? Because you get a
No,
dipper. Do you get any dippers?
I don't use any sauces for my pretzels. I go
Do you use
raw
sauce for
dog.
anything? Like
Uh,
if you get chicken tenders, chicken. Let's say you go to I don't know anywhere, put mayonnaise on a sandwich. Do you do anything like that, or is everything plain?
no, not you. I mean, I'll put like on a like turkey sandwich or something like that. I'll put mustard.
Okay.
I like mustard.
But like if you
Uh,
got chicken tenders from somewhere, you just eating
no,
chicken tenders.
just chicken
My
tenders. No,
son
no
eats
sauce.
no sauce. He gets no mustard, no mayonnaise, no nothing
I
on anything, no sauce, but he'll dip his pretzel in cheese.
really,
Yeah.
I will use once in a while. I'll use barbecue because I love
Okay.
barbecue sauce. But
Sure.
but most of the time, no. I'm
That's
just eating.
I can't understand how someone doesn't use sauce. Like I don't know.
I mean, especially if it's a good food. Like if it's very well made, whatever you're
Yeah.
eating. I feel like I'm gonna
I
enjoy
grew up
that.
in a condiment house.
Yeah.
Like my sister was a ketchup nut. We bought her bottles of ketchup and she would use a French fry to get the barbecue sauce out of the out of, and then she would just suck the barbecue sauce and just dip it right back in there. Uh, I put a 1/4 inch of mayonnaise on a sandwich. Like we have ranch galore on everything. We're sauce people. And for my son not to use any, like it weirds me out. It weirds me out.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, and they're not salt people and they're not sauce people, but you are
Oh
big
yeah.
time.
Oh yeah. Salt's not my fault. That's an addiction. All right. That dude,
Salt's not my fault.
that's a disease. I have a disease. All right.
Yeah,
So, it's
I
something
understand.
I can't get control of without help. And
I
I
can
don't want help.
completely understand that. I completely understand it. I'm the same way with sugar, and I've done a couple of times. I've gone like a whole month without ice cream or cookies, and
Okay.
I just did that in
Yeah.
January.
Yep.
And I'm like, I'm so like, if I can do that, I'm so like man, I can do that.
Yep.
I can just become a person that
Yeah.
doesn't need to do that anymore.
Yep.
And then one time you go back to the well and you
Yeah.
fall off the
You
wagon
go
and
to you go to Penn Station and the chocolate chip cookies there, and you're like, I, all right, yeah, I'm gonna have a chocolate chip cookie.
yep. And then you're like,
I'll take two.
and they tell you, yeah, and they tell you what your total is, and you're like, you know what? Go ahead and throw another one on there, and then you act like you, or you take out your phone,
Text somebody.
better
Oh
put
yeah,
on there
yeah, yeah,
because he needs one too, or she
yeah,
needs one too.
yeah.
Um,
Pat needs one.
right, yeah. um, Terry Tesla is over at the house. He's got
I
him.
gotta
I got
figure out what
him one.
Tesla's name is. I forgot about that. Maybe I can shut up for a minute and let you read your Mount Rushmore while I look up Tesla, and then I'll rudely interrupt you.
All right, I'll be ready. Uh,
I think. Oh, hold on. I haven't typed it in yet, but I think it's Nikola or something like that.
oh,
It
okay.
just popped in my head. All
Old
right,
Joker.
let's see. Go ahead. Continue. I'll tell you as soon as I pull it up.
I might. I don't know if you're gonna allow me this. You know what makes any sandwich way better? Pretzel bun.
Oh, no, that's fine. It's pretzel. Yeah.
Pretzel bun.
Yeah. Pretzel bun's totally fine. I love a good pretzel bun. Yeah.
I don't know if it still is around, but Wendy's has the Baconator with the pretzel
Yeah.
bun
I
now.
get it. I eat it all the
I
time.
still haven't gotten it yet,
No, it's good.
but
You got to do it.
I think about it all the time.
Soft bun. It's good. Dude, it's good. You got to get it. There's no reason not to. I go to Wendy's and every time I go through, I'm like, I'm just going to get two double or two junior bacon cheeseburgers and get out of here. And that thing's up there and I go, I am going to have a double pretzel baconator, please. I mean, I got, yeah, you put it on, it's like the size of, I don't know, me
Yeah,
up there. Yeah, I
yeah,
want that. I want all of it.
so good. Um, I'm going pretzel bun. I'm gonna go the pretzels at the Funny Bone. I don't know what it is. There's a
Nikola, I was correct.
You were right.
Nikola Tesla. Let's go.
You were right. Yeah, that's a big European name.
1856 to
I guess
1943.
I think it means Nicholas in
Sure.
English.
Yeah.
I'm going. You know what? I'm not doing the pretzels at the Funny Bone. If you ever go to the Funny Bone in Liberty Township, or I don't know if they're the same at other Funny Bones around the country, I get those every single time.
I love a good are they
It's
pretzel bites?
it's so I think they say pretzel
Or are
bites
they like
on the thing.
sticks?
They're like long, yeah, they're like
Oh, yeah.
long, yeah, pretzel
Nice.
sticks.
Nice.
I got those the other day. There were three of them in there.
Yeah.
I ate one and I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I put them in the middle of the table. I said, would you ladies like any?
Oh, look at you.
I,
You are
I'll
sitting
offer.
there going, do not eat any of these. Do not eat any of these. Do not eat any of these because you wanted every bit of them.
Yes,
Yeah.
I did want all three.
Yeah.
Yeah, if
But
I was
you were
sitting there
polite.
truly by
You were
myself,
polite.
I would have just
Very,
shoved through all three in my
yes.
face.
Did they eat them?
One lady ate one of them.
Oh, I would have. Oh, I watched her and just watched it go in her mouth. That's probably why the other lady didn't get one because she saw your reaction to her say yes. You don't even know. Subconsciously, you just went, that's a what do they call those questions? Like a obligatory question? No, that's not the word. Anyway, I asked it to you, but the answer was obviously no. It's my food. I'm just being nice. Don't
Yeah.
touch my food.
Yeah, and then as soon as I did that, our server came over and she looks at me and she's like, "Oh, you don't like them?" I'm like, "No, I love them.
They're my
I'm
favorite.
just offering to share or whatever."
Yeah.
Um, have those. I think I'm gonna take that. I think that's what I'm gonna take off.
And put Annie hands up.
Here's the thing. I was also gonna go just the soft pretzel at a game. You go to a game. Here's the thing.
That's hit
You
or
can
miss,
you,
bud.
it's
That's
big
hit or miss.
miss. It's big hit or miss. If you go to a high school football game, you might get a terrible soft pretzel.
It's
A
not
terrible
soft.
soft pretzel.
Sometimes they're not soft.
You might get a hard pretzel.
It's a crunchy pretzel.
um, some places you go, if you get a good fresh warm one though, holy smokes. And I'll tell you what, I was gonna say, before you already told me the story about your kids not wanting the salt, I was gonna say you're gonna divorce me when I say this,
You
but
don't want salt.
if especially if there's tons of it on there, most of it I'll brush off.
Okay, so you'll eat some. You allow
I'll,
some salt.
I'll eat some, but if they ask me if they're all blank and they're like, "Do you want salt?" No thanks.
Oh yeah, where they put the salt on for you?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
No way. There's some pretzels, and I know you're not going to be on there for you, but there's these pretzels you get from Kroger's, and they're little pretzel squares, little soft pretzel squares,
Yeah.
and you have to put them in the stove or whatever to heat them up, and then you're supposed to like drizzle water on them, and it comes with a salt packet to put
Yeah.
on it. I only do half of them because the salt's got to like somebody can have all these. They're separate. I put my salt on half. Like there ain't enough salt in this little thing for all these. Come on, man, what you guys doing to
Wait,
me?
so you're saying you use multiple salt packets for
No, I
one?
used one salt packet, but I only use half of the pretzels for that one salt packet.
Oh, I
this
see.
one salt packet comes for the whole
Yeah.
thing. I only use half of the pretzels, and I'll put them in a different thing with another dip over there. That way, I know I don't want those. People don't know. They're just like, oh, look, pretzels and dip. Go dip them. No, not for me.
That was something I think that was a market day item that I think we used to get all the
Oh,
time.
was it?
Yeah,
Nice.
the soft pretzel. Yeah, and I always thought it was so funny that you had to get the pretzel wet
Yeah,
to
you
add
get to
salt. Kind of weird.
drizzle water on it. Like this is the weirdest thing in the
Just
world.
run it under the
How much
kitchen
water do
sink.
I use?
Yeah.
Get a spray bottle out? What am I doing here?
Well, that's probably a good idea. Spray
It
bottle
just
might be
popped in
just
my
enough.
head. I've never done it. I've always drizzled
That's-
water because that's what it says to do. But now I'm thinking,
That'd be perfect.
couple squirts,
Man.
little
All
Salt
right.
Bay action
Yeah,
on there.
right off the forearm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You know what? I'm going to guarantee is the chocolate covered pretzel. The chocolate
Okay.
covered
Like the
pretzel.
stick,
You got I mean, you got
Utz's or yeah.
Reese's and Hershey's has bags of them
Oh,
now. I
okay.
mean, we had the Reese's
Yep.
dipped pretzels.
Yep.
Those have got to be on there. I love a chocolate covered pretzel. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and throw Annie Ann's on there. I'm
Do
gonna
it.
throw Annie Ann's on there, just the butter, and and then not to even mention the cinnamon and sugar ones. Oh
Mm-hmm.
my God.
I've never had a cinnamon sugar pretzel from Annie Ann's.
Really?
It's so hard for me to go away from the regular. Like I
Yeah.
know that I love this. I know that I love it.
Here's the thing. First time I ever had Annie Ann's, which was only like 5 years ago, maybe.
What,
Um,
what rock did you grow up under?
yeah, I just didn't
Do
ever.
you ever go to a mall?
Mike Edwards and I went to the mall all the time when we were 14,
Yeah.
but I never went to Annie Ann's.
Man.
Um, so I got the butter ones or whatever, the
Mhm.
regular ones the first time. I think the next time, no, I got the cinnamon and sugar ones. I think a girl that I dated introduced me to Annie Ann's. So I think I got the cinnamon and sugar ones and she got the regular ones and she had me try one of those. And ever since then I just had the regular ones. And you know
Yeah.
how much I'm addicted to sugar, like you're addicted to
Absolutely.
salt.
Yep. They're delicious.
They're that good that I don't get the cinnamon and sugar ones, but those are unbelievable. You got to try them once.
I'll try it.
Last,
I've interrupted you so much. I don't know what your first three were.
it was the pretzel bun, it was the chocolate covered pretzels, it was Annie
Oh,
Ann's.
okay, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah.
I mentioned the funny bone pretzels. I mentioned the soft pretzel at a game, a good one. I'm so tempted to just because that's the old school thing to me. I have dots written down. Seasoned pretzels are
Mm-hmm.
great. You know what? I do have a favorite pretzel from when I was a kid.
Okay.
The pretzel rods.
Yeah, heck yeah, man.
Oh man,
That when
act
you
like you're
first
smoking
said
a
when you
cigar.
first said chocolate covered pretzels, dude, that's how like you like those are the best. Somebody's got a chocolate fountain and you got the pretzel rods, boom. I'm hitting those big old things in there all the time.
You go to any like candy
Absolutely.
store or
That's a great
fudge store or
go-to.
something on vacation, yeah, they'll
Yep.
always have those in there.
Yep. That's a
Um,
great go-to.
those are great. Uh, Man,
Again, that's another one that's got great salt at the bottom of a bag.
yes,
Lots and
that was a
lots of
lot of salt.
salt.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going with when you get a great because when I go to Pacers games or something like that, and I need a snack, I'm going to the concession stand. That's my go-to. I'm getting a pretzel.
Getting a pretzel, huh?
I'm going soft
My
pretzel.
son's big on the pretzels. He loves the soft pretzel.
Yeah. Yep.
I've had so many bad ones that I look up
Yeah.
there most of the time and I'm like, nah, I'm good.
If I feel like I'll have a feel for it. If it's at the Pacers game, if it's at like a place
Yeah.
that is gonna, you know, has the equipment and money to put into that.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you go to a high school, any high school sporting
Yeah,
event or
they
something
just
like that.
throw them in there and leave the thing on for the whole entire game so the pretzel's hard as a rock by halftime.
Right, right. Yeah, those might be the ones still sitting in there from last game too, by
Yes,
the way.
exactly. That's exactly right.
Oh man. Okay, there's my four.
I love that. You just got another really good soft pretzel.
Who's that?
Have you ever been to, me and my wife go there all the time. It's like our favorite place to go. It's right there by WSAI Tower. What's that place called? Um,
In Northern Kentucky?
no,
Or
no, no, no. In Price Hill.
oh.
I
I don't
can't believe
know.
I can't remember. This is our favorite place to eat. Um, Anyway, yeah,
So,
it's like they've got like a deck and you look out over downtown, um, right there at the top of the,
oh yeah.
what's
Yes.
that called? Where
The
you go up.
something house.
Yeah, you go up it's like a lift. It has to do, wow, what is
Oh.
that called? No. You don't actually go up it, but there used to be one there.
Oh yes. The incline, the
Incline.
Presto
It's
incline.
the incline house.
Incline
That's
house.
it. There you
Yep.
go. All right. So incline house, you get there. Jeez, Pete's, dude, I'm struggling.
We
I
pieced it
don't.
together.
I can't figure out what. I still am trying to figure out what I was talking about. Question. It's a rhetorical question. Boom,
Rhetorical
popped in
question.
my head
Yes.
just now.
That's
I
right.
got words don't move. My mouth moves too quick for my brain. Most people's brain goes too fast. My mouth goes too fast. My brain can't think fast enough. Um, incline house,
Yeah.
dude. The incline house has a monster soft pretzel. It's huge. I'm gonna tell it's this tall and like that wide. And it's got like two mustards and a cheese. And dude, it's on a hook. That is a good one, dude. That's legit.
I may have had that before.
If you're going to the incline house, get that as an app. All their apps are delicious, but get that thing.
Ever tell you about the time I went on a date there and Aunt Peggy, Aunt Sue, Aunt T,
And my
maybe
mom,
your mom were all there?
no, I did not know that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
How awkward did that become? Was it a first date?
No,
Oh, okay.
no. But I
Oh,
did go on a first date there before, I think.
have you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sarah. You remember Sarah probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I think
When you
yeah.
go on a so when you go on a date there, you've
Mhm.
been there a few times then, right?
Yeah.
When they say do you want outsider in, do you immediately say outside so you can have that conversation piece?
I if it's the nicest day on the planet in the history of the planet, I'm eating inside.
No.
I will always choose
Okay.
inside.
Who am I talking to? Come on,
Always inside.
Christopher. Yes.
I don't need if it's too warm, if it's too cold, if there are bugs outside,
Yeah.
that's all outside.
I've done enough of I've ate outside there enough to where I'm like, I don't really care. I really love their food. Their food's delicious. I'm just like, I'll eat inside. Like it's not not that for me anymore. It's for the food. Plus, you got to wait like 2 hours to sit outside, and I can sit there and 10 minutes have a table inside because nobody wants to sit inside.
I I only want to sit inside.
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm always an inside guy.
Oh,
Matter
God.
of fact, I last summer we went to my group of people that I work with
Hmm.
went to this place that had in Lebanon that has outside seating and inside seating. It's a big place. And it was the middle of summer. And so it was warm and if you remember last summer, there was like a bee problem.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, are you guys crazy? I did, they asked somebody, and a couple people were like, yeah, oh, I eat outside, especially the guy that's kind of like the leader of our pack because he's the most outgoing or whatever.
Yeah.
So he just kind of takes the lead on that stuff, and he's like, oh yeah, we want to eat outside. It's so nice. It's so nice. I'm like, no, man. No, I didn't say that. We ate outside,
Yeah.
but I'm like looking at like all seeing all the bees the whole time. I'm like, that's all I'm worried about
I
is
was like,
having to deal with the
I'll
elements.
take water and anything and like if I don't eat Brussels sprouts ever, but that's what I want because there's no sugar or any way the bee doesn't want any of this.
Yeah. Can I get some Raid bee spray and soft pretzel and anyway, on to
Mike
Mike
Epps.
Epps.
Yeah.
Mike Epps.
Sell out. I want to
Yes.
sell out, something like
Ready
that.
to ready to sell out.
Ready to sell out.
Yes, that's
Ready to
right.
sell out.
That's right. Um, please.
I started the last one. I'll let you start this one. I just got done watching this about a half hour before you got to the house. So this is fresh on my mind.
I got done watching it about an hour before I left.
Oh, perfect.
So congratulations on 2 more views today, Mike.
Yes.
Let's see.
Let's talk it out. Let's talk it out. We'll just talk it
When,
out together. Let's talk. We both
yeah.
freshly watched it. Uh, I'm gonna tell you, I think the beginning of this
Yeah.
was great. I thought the second half, I don't think he had an hour worth of material.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever had an hour's worth of material. I think he had 20 minutes of material and he had 20 minutes of, I don't know, maybe some of this will work. And he just decided to make that the end. His closer, I don't even know where it came from. It didn't even make sense how that was your closer.
Yeah. That was kind of a theme to me. He talked about so many different things, and there was never a
There's
transition.
never a transition. He just started talking. And listen, I love Mike Epps because he's one guy that can do that. If that actually can do that,
It wasn't that bad. Yeah.
yeah, that and
He
it's
just
not
did
bad.
it
And,
all the
yeah,
time. Yeah.
and he just gets to laughing and just and that we talk about it all the time. I'm sure you can't stand. He's always smacking the mic, dropping it down. That gets on your nerves. Dave Chappelle does that all the time. Mike Epps is doing that all the time, laughing at his own jokes. He laughed so hard at two jokes, and I don't even know when the punchline came.
I know.
He laughed at two jokes, and I didn't hear the punchline. I was like, I think he said that in his head. I think he laughed in his head and thought the joke was over.
Yeah.
I think he thought the joke was over. The thing that's crazy is if you would have told me if I would have rated this after the first 20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes, I would have gave it like a 4.41.
Wow.
I was laughing pretty much the whole time. And then I couldn't keep up. I didn't know where we were at.
Mhm.
All of a sudden we got there's electrical tape on your head, and then you're at the preacher guy's house with machine guns and where are we? What is going on right now?
Yeah.
It was, and then we're, do whatever you want to do. I got in trouble. Just depends on if you get caught. Like, what is going on
It
right
was
now?
all over the place.
All over the place. So that brought me way down. It was a tale of two halves for me. Because I think he had really good material in the beginning. I enjoyed the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm pretty much the same. As it went on, I'm noticing more and more he'll say something and then just start a completely different topic. No just no warning, no any kind of transition at all. Just
Sometimes not even a punchline to get out of it. Like
yeah,
he just started talking about something. Well, this ain't working. I'm gonna go over here.
it was that part was a little strange. I mean, it's it didn't drive me crazy or whatever, but I just noticed it a lot.
Yeah.
Um Yeah, I mean, I guess I wrote down a couple notes on stuff that I thought was okay. Um, he said when black people aren't around, I'm white.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
The
a lot
weight
of
talk.
yeah, comedians have talked about that for a long time, but
Yeah.
he did okay on that. Um, I think maybe one of the funniest things was talking about God. And he's like, when you call up and God's brother answers,
Nah, we only doing medical today. Yeah.
he said no medical stuff. Yeah, yeah. No getting your rims out of the
Out of
shop
the
or
shop.
whatever. Yeah, yeah. He said the whole country of Africa.
Yeah.
He said that, which is a
Okay.
continent.
Yep.
Um, the one of the things that I did not understand where he was going with, because I didn't notice, there were a couple things that were references that I didn't understand.
Did you have
One
to look
was
up some of the people that he was talking about? I didn't know who he was
there
talking about.
there were a couple names that
Yeah.
I wasn't sure about. Figueroa. He said Figueroa, and it was like this big, like, oh
Well, I mean,
man.
obviously that's a street. I mean, that was a that's a
Yeah,
that was a that was a that was a that was a context clues thing, right? That's a
well,
street in LA.
eventually you figured out
Yeah.
what he was talking about, but like the reaction.
When he originally said, "Now I don't know how I got there," I was like, "Oh yeah, this is about prostitutes and whatever." Now,
I see. At first, I thought maybe it was like notoriously not notorious, but a famously
no,
gay street or something like that.
oh,
Like I thought that's
I
where he
got
was
you.
maybe going first, and I'm like, okay, but I don't know that. I don't know Figueroa.
Yeah,
And then as he was talking it through for a while, I'm like, oh, okay. Maybe it just took me longer to get. I don't know, but
yeah.
I was like, he said it a couple times, and he's like,
That
a
it-
minute into the joke, I'm like, I guess I just don't know about the street. It must be a famous street. I
The
just don't
crazy
know
thing
it.
is, I don't think it didn't feel to me like everybody was going crazy in the audience.
Yeah,
I
no,
feel like he was making it like,
that's what. Yeah,
that's his deal, right? Like if he's in LA doing that joke, it probably kills,
sure. Yeah,
kills.
yeah.
But nobody in Phoenix knows what he's doing.
That's right. That's right.
I like the
Yeah.
jail stuff. He had some good stuff about jail. That was
Yeah.
pretty funny. Like
Yep.
little shooter. Little shooter goes, he got the ops and he started doing all that stuff. That was in the beginning. I thought that was all really good and it came together and he rolled it all into one big joke. I thought that was all good.
Yeah. Yeah. He did the work husband thing wasn't too bad,
Yep,
I
that was
thought.
good. Yep, that was pretty
Um,
good.
anyway, that was really kind of all I wrote down. But
Stop by my wife's Starbucks.
yeah. Yeah. Um,
Yeah, if you cheat, if you really love somebody and you cheat, oh, that's bad. Don't or what he said, rule number one is
don't
don't
get
get
caught
caught.
cheating. Yep.
That's rule number one.
Um,
She better not be uglier.
yeah. Yeah, he's dead asleep and she hits him to wake him up. She makes him call her and he's like,
Hope a bridge fell on her. I'm don't know how to answer this phone.
I hope she's dead. He said she answers and you have to cuss her out. Don't ever call
Call
her
this,
again.
you breaking up a happy home.
Yeah,
That
that was pretty good.
was good.
Okay. I've got my number written down. What do you rate Mike Epps?
I originally had 3.6 in my head, but the more we talked about it, I might go lower. Probably like a 3.4. It'd be a good
Okay.
number for where I think it should be at.
All right.
I like 3.4 because I thought it was still good.
Yeah.
And Mike Epps is good, dude. He's a funny guy.
Yep.
He's naturally funny, just his demeanor, his everything.
Yeah. He did a pretty good job.
The one, oh, there was one other joke that I didn't like. Like he's bet. I feel like you're better than this. When he's talking about his therapist and was like, "What is it about cocaine that you love so much?" And he said, "Well, I just love the smell." That's so played out. Don't
Mm.
you know what I mean? Yeah, I just love the smell, and I just can't get like. Come on, that's an old played out joke. It's not funny. That was not funny anymore.
Yeah. 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 You can tell you can tell he's rich or you can tell he's done very well. I mean, he said, I
He's
know you
ain't
saw
got no
those
money
movies,
anymore.
but yeah, the money's
That
gone.
money's gone.
Um,
He said go back 5 years ago. What was it? All about the Benjamins. Yeah, when I found it, I was been up for 3 days on cocaine.
yeah. Yeah, but I feel like his earlier stuff compared to now, you can tell now. And he's not doing the whole thing where he's like, look how successful I am and all
No,
this kind
not
of
at
stuff.
all. No, very
But
condescending to himself or
yeah,
self-deprecating. Yeah.
but you can tell like, old Mike Epps was prison Mike Epps.
Yep.
Now he's got a therapist and
Yeah. Yeah.
I
He's got.
he had
We
I don't
talked about his therapist twice.
yeah. And it looked like he had a ring on his finger. I
That
guess
thing
he's
was
married.
huge. That was a giant. I feel like that was just a. I
Just a
don't know.
ring.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
He been paying child support for 50 years.
Yeah. Since he was 17.
I never missed a payment.
Yeah. So I put 3-1. I had a 3-1.
All right, that's pretty close.
Yeah. So anyway,
Three's like the average, right? We've kind of decided that three is like an average
yeah.
deal. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good number. That's a good number.
Yes. So we have come to the part of the show where we have to pick Mount Rushmore and a comedy for next week.
All
Would
right.
you like to pick a comedy for next week?
I have one. Do you have a Mount Rushmore or you need me to talk this out for a minute?
I would like to listen to your choice of
So
comedy.
as I was listening today, as I was watching today, Mike Epps, I popped on to Netflix to watch it because that's where it was. And I like because it'll tell you recently added.
Mhm.
And there's nothing better than my man, Donnell Rawlings, A New Day. Chappelle's home team, it's called Donnell Rawlings, A New Day.
Love it. I saw
Only
that.
40 minutes.
Oh, okay. I saw that too, and I was like, I'll bet Chris picks Donnell.
100%. I love Donnell Rawlings. Dude, when he
He's
was
funny.
he did an episode of The Cabin with Burt Kreischer.
Yes.
Oh my
That was so
God.
funny.
It was so funny. He is so funny. Especially with Burt Kreischer. Like, though, you couldn't get two more different people.
Yeah.
And it was so good. That was so good.
Oh my God. Um, okay. Donnell Rawlings, looking forward to that. There are a few people that either have just come out with new ones or are coming out tomorrow. One of my favorite
Oh,
guys, Dan Soder is coming out with a new one.
Soder's got one tomorrow. Well, that's next week's then. Obviously, we're gonna be doing that. Is that gonna be on the
Yes.
YouTube or is
Yes,
yeah,
that's on YouTube. And next weekend, I have tickets for
Dan
Dan
Soder.
Soder in Cincinnati.
Nice.
Um,
Next weekend, do you know what's going on next weekend?
what's that?
Next weekend, first baseball tournament kicks
Oh,
off
wow.
next weekend.
I hope for some good weather for you.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I liked for last year, the same tournament, the first day was like 70 degrees, played our pool play games, and then it got snowed out the next day. We
Ah.
didn't finish.
Wouldn't you love to play a whole baseball season in Florida or
Man, that would be
somewhere
unbelievable. South
South
Carolina.
Carolina?
It'd be nice.
Yeah. Okay, Mount Rushmore. I've been racking my brain for the last,
20 seconds.
120 seconds or something like that. And I don't know. I'm it's so hard because every time I think of something, I'm like, we had to have done that. Eh, And I can't remember specifically, but I'm like,
Yeah.
it feels like we probably did
Feels
that.
like it. Yeah.
Um, I wanted to go managers. We had to have done baseball managers. Um, I'm trying to think of something baseball themed because we're getting there.
Yep.
Um, I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go the Mount Rushmore of.
I love that this is happening to you right now. I feel like this is the story of my life with Mount Rushmores.
I just realized I have Mount Rushmore this week on my drive over here. But I should have been. I should have been. I can't do two things at once, especially in this brain. But
Uh-huh.
um, man. Okay. All right. Here's what we're doing.
Let's hear it.
We're going Mount Rushmore of National League. We're going Mount Rushmore.
You know what? Hey,
Mount
you know what?
Rushmore of baseball division.
We
No,
we can skip a week.
no, we're not skipping a week.
It's
We're not skipping a week.
it's hey, it's tough. This is a tough one.
No, we're gonna do Mount Rushmore of baseball
Yeah.
all-star game.
Okay. Okay.
We're gonna go Mount Rushmore of Japanese baseball players.
Let's
That good?
go. Shogo Akiyama.
Just say, just say Japanese sounding names.
That's not a sounding name. That's the guy the Red sign that ended up being
Oh,
terrible.
That's right. That's right.
He ended up never doing anything.
I thought he was gonna be so good.
Everybody did. Everybody thought that. Hideki Matsusaka. What's his name for
There's
the
Hideki
for the
Matsui.
Yankees? Matsui.
Yeah,
Hideki Matsui.
mm-hmm.
Uh
Hideo
Hideo
Nomo.
Nomo. Yeah, let's go. Come on, keep him going.
How about Kosuke Fukudome?
Lo-
Cubs.
How about Luhato Hinstaka?
Wait,
I
that
can
was a
do.
real one.
I can make names up too.
I think Kosuke Fukudome played for the
Get out
Cubs.
of here.
He
Say
played
it.
for the
Well,
Cubs.
say it again.
Kosuke Fukudome.
Yep. No, I believe you because you're so confident.
Okay, thank you.
Totally believe you.
I remember teaching a girl.
Kosuke Fukudome.
I remember teaching a girl that I was dating at the time how to pronounce his name, like breaking it down. Kosuke, and it was like Kosuke.
Antetokounmpo.
Yeah. Yep. I just tried to teach my nephew that name.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think my brother's already said it to him before, but
Yeah.
How about this name? Giannis Antetokounmpo. He didn't care. He's like,
He's
okay.
Yep. Yep. Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh man.
All right, Japanese baseball players. There have been some good ones. I mean, number one. I mean, yeah, never mind. No, you know what?
No. No. Babe Ruth's not going to be number one.
I wasn't thinking Babe Ruth, although
I meant that was a tongue in cheek for Shohei Ohtani
do we?
because he's the Babe Ruth of now.
Yeah,
Pitcher, hitter,
better than Babe Ruth,
bombs.
I bet.
Yeah, I doubt that.
Think so?
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey, look, congratulations to Shohei Ohtani on his marriage.
Yeah, just got hitched. Apparently, nope. Like he just put it out on Twitter. Hey, just got married. It's like those good kind of things that don't just sneak by, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know
Huh.
who this guy is.
He's tough. That's kind of one of it's kind of an endearing quality though, and especially like a lot of the Asian born players is because that's part of their culture is they're reserved.
Hmm.
They're not a flashy. They don't need you to know everything.
Hmm.
I don't know. I kind of like that a little bit,
Yeah.
and especially in this era of everybody knows everything about everybody.
Yep. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Everybody knows everything about everybody. Now I got to go find out about a bunch of Japanese baseball players.
Yeah.
I'm excited about this.
Hmm.
All right. That sounds good. I
I,
loved Hideki Matsui.
mhm.
That dude was bad son gun.
He was good. He was good.
He
All
was
right.
like the Japanese home run leader when he came over here, wasn't
I think so.
he? Yeah.
Yeah.
He played over there
So,
for like 10 years or something before he
Sadaharu
came over.
O was for a million years, and then I
Yeah.
don't know if Hideki Matsui broke his record or if
Or
he
was
still
just
has it.
getting, or was just way up there because he was he was the biggest home run hitter over there, and he played there for like 10 years before he came over.
Yeah,
Just like probably the greatest one that has to be on there, right?
that's what I almost said before.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
he's only got one name. That dude, they got his first name was on the back of his jersey
I think he is maybe my fourth or fifth favorite player of all time.
all time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He's so cool, and he's seeing like stuff that he'll be involved in something
Hmm.
now, either some baseball academy or something, and somebody will ask him some questions or he'll do something.
Hmm.
He'll still do amazing things now, or
Yeah.
just say something really funny. Like
Yeah.
I think that was the thing. Like a lot of people, a lot of his teammates and stuff were like, "You have no idea how funny this guy is,"
Yeah.
you know?
He is you think about unbreakable records, right? Like what records are unbreakable? You think about Pistol Pete Maravich and what Caitlin Clark's doing now to possibly break his NCAA record. Not possibly, she's going to.
Hmm.
And then you think about like Pete Rose. Like that feels like an unbreakable record, right? 4,258 or whatever it is. I don't know,
56, yeah.
256.
Hmm.
Um, like that feels impossible for the way the game is now. But would it surprise me? No, no. I mean, Ichiro, to be honest, if he played
He
his
did
whole
it.
career here, yeah. I mean, but the problem is he did it over there and here, so
Two
you really
leagues, yeah.
can't count it, right? And I get it. You can't. It's two different leagues. You can't put them together. You can, and you can say he's got this many total hits in his career and professional, whatever, but it's not in Major League Baseball.
Hmm.
So and he damn near got close to it anyway. He still had 3,000 hits in Major League Baseball,
Yeah,
which is insane when you played 8 years or 7 years in Japan.
yeah.
Um, so you think about somebody like that, like maybe that's not unbreakable. I was just heard people they're talking about this today. I think the newest record that feels unbreakable is like running backs last 2 years. You could be Todd Gurley's 27 years old right now. He's been out of football for 2 years and was the best.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like Emmett Smith's all-time rushing record is never going to be touched.
yeah. Yep. And they'll they'll do most teams will do two or three running backs and kind
Yep.
of share
Yep.
carries and stuff.
And if you are the main guy, you ain't lasting that long.
Right.
There's not a
Exactly.
lot of Derrick Henrys left out there.
Yeah,
Uh, uh, uh.
that's true.
Okay. That was a yawn. That means it's time.
There you go.
All right. So we've got, yeah, Donnell Rawlings and Japanese born baseball players.
That's right.
I love it. All right. So till next week, don't forget to turn your headlights on.